I'm gonna be that breakthrough person. But I should be afforded the same equality education that the person at North Springs gets. That's all I'm saying.
If Juan walked into an office and they learned something from him, why shouldn't be the only black person that somebody learned something from? The white person that's in the office shouldn't be the only white person that why learn something from. And the whole thing about those schools is that most parents, most black parents, are not going to go to those PTA meetings. They're not going to sit down at night and help their children do their homework. I'm talking about the majority. I know this because they're not going to do it. Why? Because they haven't even learned this stuff themselves. So we can argue, fuss, and fight about it all day long, but the thing about it is that as a black race, we are lacking. And if we're lacking as a black race, then how, if you're supposed to be my brother and I'm supposed to be your brother, then we supposed to come together and help each other. And we cannot do that as black people. We cannot get together and help each other. So with that being said, now it may be a select few of people that can do that. I'm not saying it's every single one person, but as a race, we are lacking. And what I learned at the HBCU that I went to was that they were all smoking weed and doing this and the third. That's not what I want to associate myself with.
Pat, I can agree with you on the fact that a lot of our parents are not in the schools. I can agree with you on that. I can agree with you that they're not in the schools because they did not learn it, because maybe they were in the same cycle that their parent was in. They had a child at 14, their parent had a child at 14, and then they had a child at 14. But this is where the community that is being fostered at these schools, at some point, somebody a little bit older, because we're talking about years of foundation of brokenness within a race and in a family, to where it has to be broken at some point. Somebody's going to grab a child and say, hey, you know what? There is a better way. And this is, I know this is whatever dreamish, say each one reach one, whatever you may say, but all it takes is for us to start with one. And this is what I talk about when I talk about us as black people going out to vote. Because we can make a difference. Now, we can't win the race, but we can make the difference. And with that being said, when one person grabs one, and you whisper in that person's ear, hey, I'm grabbing you, your turn to grab someone else is going to be next. But in the meantime, let's learn this, and you need to get this. That's what you get at an HBCU. Whether or not you got it at your HBCU, I'm sorry, and I really wish that you would have, because I did. When I was slacking at Dillon University, my freshman year, because I was freshman class president and I thought I had it going on, I had 3 people. They were sophomores. They weren't juniors and seniors. They came up to me and said, Morris, your mom is paying too much money for you to go to this school. It's taking out too many loans for you to go to this school and for you to mess up. You need to get it together. Do you know that made the world of a difference in my life? That made the world, everybody. And it doesn't. But you know what I did? Hold on. You know what I did? Wait, stop, Pat. No. You know what I did in return? I got myself together, and the next year I did the same thing to somebody else. And the year after that, I did it to that same person.
But Morris, you act like that shit can't happen at a diverse school.
I'm not saying that it can't, but I'm saying that no. What I'm saying is that is more prone to happen at an all-black school or a majority black school than it is. Yes, I have. I went to Georgia State and I've taken classes during the day like a regular college student. That way it wouldn't seem like I was just some commuter student, so I could see what the college life is like in the daytime at a Georgia State university.
You can't base your experience. You cannot classify that for every non-HBCU.
Well, that's what we're doing with this conversation right now. Pat said at his school what they did, so why can't I do it for me? We're speaking from experiences.
But I'm not saying my education from the HBCU was worse than the education that I received. I'm talking about the people who were there. I'm not talking about my education at all. I'm talking about the people that I was around. I don't want to leave from one hood to go to an HBCU to be in another hood. That's not why I went to school. Mike, where are you at in this conversation?
Y'all are just going so back and forth about different things. I'm just trying to keep it all together. But one thing I will say is that Attending Xavier University, one thing that was very highly encouraged is that during the summers and during the time in which we were not in school, because we were in an environment that was predominantly African American, we were very highly encouraged to seek internships and other opportunities that put us in culturally diverse situations. So when I did my internships as a pharmacist, I always did them around, I always did my pharmacy internships like in communities that were predominantly African American or predominantly culturally diverse, so that I could learn to relate a little bit more. But my background is a little different, just because in the summers when I was in high school, I didn't spend my summers at home. I went to a boarding school where there were students from around the world. So I got exposed to the cultural diversity and having to deal with other races from an early age. So I'm a little different. But I think it's up to the program at the HBCU and the HBCU itself to want to give their students that exposure. Because at the end of the day, like you said, being at the HBCU is really not the real world, because most of the time you're gonna be in an environment where you have to deal with other races. But that's up to the HBCU to kind of prepare you for that before you graduate.
Can I say this right here? Can I say this? Because I know I get on here and I preach blackness a lot. I know I do. And I want to make it real plain. And I hope people understand and grasp what I'm saying. I don't dislike any other races. I don't. I just love mine a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying I dislike other collaboration channels. No. I love 4 Degrees of Black more than I love any other collaboration channel. That's all I'm saying. Y'all see what I'm saying? Do y'all, I mean...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
It's some fantasy world or it's just power to the people. No. It's power to the people that give themselves ability to be empowered. So I totally understand. And I feel as though, yes, we should integrate. And yes, there is a world bigger than BET and TV One and Radio One and things of the sort. Like we need to integrate and party in the USA with Miley Cyrus. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, my foundation doesn't come from England. My foundation doesn't. My foundation is not German and Irish.
Well, look, we getting close to 30 minutes. So this is about to be like a 3-part video. And I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to keep it short.
And I'm done.
Look, it's all good, to help uplift your community and everything. But separate but equal, no, it's not going to cut it. Look, for real. It's good to see role models of your own, skin color, if you're a minority, fine, well and good. But let's face it, folks. This is the real world. You need to get out here, do the best you can do you, and deal with other races throughout life. I'm not saying not to go to a HBCU. I'm not saying to go to a culturally diverse school. You need to get out here and do the best that you can do and get yours. And meanwhile, get an eclectic understanding of all races. And we shouldn't even be talking about integration. That's why I say you need to get over this whole color thing, all right? Because at the end of the day, we all people. We just got some different cultures that we need to learn to understand. And I'm done.
All right, and so one thing, and I'll kind of wrap this up for everyone. One thing I will say is that I will be a supporter of separate but equal as long as we can guarantee that in the separation, the two groups are essentially equal. The same amount of money and the same amount of resources that's being poured into one culture or one ethnicity group and their learning environment is the same amount and the equal amount and the same experiences and the same quality of education is being afforded to the other. That is what I'm going to be a big supporter of. So, just to conclude, this has been a very, very interesting topic. I had no idea that, these opinions were going to be formed. For all of our viewers and subscribers, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Each one to tell another to come by the channel and let us know what you think. So, until next time, I am Verbally Unspoken.
I'm Y2, and let me say one thing else. In a perfect world, separate but equal would be equal, but guess what, folks? Go ahead, Pat.
Actually, I'm next. Historically Black College and University, yours. My name is Invincible.
And it's me, your boy Pat.
And until next time, everybody, peace out. Have a good night.